It's Friday, September 13, 2024. This is News 360. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ayisha Yakubu-Halid.
And I am Paa Kwesi Asare. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
10 political party presidential aspirants and 12 independent aspirants filed nominations with the Electoral Commission to contest December 7 presidential elections.
Illegal miners invade Asinya Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region, even as President Akufo-Addo sets up 5-member ministerial committee to engage stakeholders on illegal mining.
Also ahead in the bulletin tonight, the Volta River Authority and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company staff threaten nationwide strike over merger with Bui Power Authority and the sale of thermal plants.
In business, this evening, Ghana Chamber of Construction rejects Bitumen import ban to prevent monopoly.
And elsewhere on the foreign front, China will gradually raise its retirement age for the first time since the 1950s as the country confronts an aging population and a dwindling pension budget. We've got details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on X. Well, this is your election command center. The Electoral Commission has closed the filing of nominations for both presidential and parliamentary candidates ahead of the December 7 general elections. Deputy Commissioner at the Electoral Commission in charge of corporate services, Dr. Eric Bosman Asare, spoke with my colleague Noble Crosby Annan on what happens next after aspirants have filed their nominations.
Next week, we are going to come up with those who have qualified and those who didn't meet the requirements. After that, then the team in charge will work on balloting for positions. And once we do the balloting, it will replicate at the constituency level. So assuming, let's say, one of the parties will pick position 1, automatically, if you are contesting the parliamentary in that particular constituency too, you become 1. So all those processes will follow. Then once we also have a final register, we print it. Then we have the notice of poll, which will indicate the people who are contesting the presidential election as well as the parliamentary elections in the various constituencies. So in terms of the nomination, everything is on course.
In scrutiny and vetting, what will the commission be looking for on the form submitted? I think
there are task clearance certificates, very, very important. And every presidential candidate is supposed to get 2 people endorsing your form from each district of our country. And the commission is going to confirm whether indeed these are people who are voters in that particular district. So once those things are confirmed that you've gone through the processes very well, automatically, and we've been hearing people saying commission has an agenda to cut the number. No, there is no agenda like that. The rules are there. Once you meet the requirements, you go through. So if even we end up getting 25 parties and independent candidates that meet the requirement, we are going to have a presidential ballot made up of 25 candidates.
Is that not of concern to the commission, the larger the numbers that are coming?
No, the commission doesn't have interest in this. Our constitution is very, very clear. If people have attained the age of 40, they can avail themselves to contest for the position of president. The parliamentary too, I think it's almost 21. It's 21. So once you meet that requirement, and there's a filing fee, which is 100,000 Ghana cedis. If you are a woman, we reduce it by 25%. you pay the 75,000. If you are a PWD, a person with disability, you also pay reduced by 25%. The parliamentary is 10,000. 25% reduction, 7,005. So once you go through the process, so the commission, we don't have an interest in this. We don't have an interest in who. Once you qualify, we go ahead and we put you on the ballot.
The last day of the filing of the nominations, if there's a mistake detected, is the commission going to call the applicant to correct the errors?
Yes, certainly. What we are doing, because people are filing today, those who have already, I think today we've already done 3.
Yes.
The team is looking at it. So if it demands that we call you, we are going to do that.
However, drama unfolded on the last day of the filing of nomination forms as 2 candidates, Dr. Ni Amudaku and independent candidate Kwesi Asare of the PPP, were deemed to have submitted their forms after the commission had announced a close of nominations. Now, although the commission received their nomination forms, a decision will be made on their eligibility by the chairperson of the commission. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan has more on all the 22 persons who have successfully filed their nominations at the close of nominations today. He joins me live in the studio. Crosby, so 22 people in all, right?
Exactly.
How many independent candidates?
We're seeing about 12 independent candidates.
12
yes,
independent
and the
candidates.
rest are political parties, making up the total 22 people or aspirants who are filed to want to become president of the country. But I should also tell you that by close of day today, 8 aspirants filed wanting to become president of the country. If you're comparing that with what the situation was in 2020, where 17 people successfully filed, 5 of them were rejected. So on the ballot paper, we had 12 candidates wanting to become president. We'll see what the commission will do about the situation now. 22 of them filed. Of course, they'll be scrutinized, their documents will be vetted, and then the commission will make a collective decision on who makes it onto the ballot paper for the December 7 polls.
How smooth was the process of filing?
I mean, it was very easy. The applicants, they spent less than 10 minutes when they visited the commission's head office. So a brief engagement, a brief introduction of the visitors, if you like. And then after that, they tell them why they came, show some few documents they brought, and then the commission welcomes them. Either the chairperson or one of the deputies welcomes the aspirants. They exchange the forms. They sign to be certain of the time the documents were collected. And that is how come these 2 candidates, one from the PPP and 1 independent candidate, that's how come their forms were received but may not be accepted because the commission deemed that they presented it when they had announced a closure of nominations. So it was a smooth process, but a long day.
I saw the NDC General Secretary, the chairman, as well as the Director of Elections, Omani Buama, go and file, and they were all smiles, together with the Electoral Commission boss, Jean Mensah. After that whole process, did you have a word with them?
Yes, we spoke with them. We spoke with the NDC. In fact, so the NPP, they were the first to file on Monday, and the NDC were the last to file on Monday. After the NDC filed, we engaged with the General Secretary, and he was still very emphatic on the position of the party that there's the need for an independent forensic audit of the electoral roll. That is something they're saying wherever they find themselves. The least opportunity, they want to highlight the need for the independent audit of the voter roll before they go into the elections. That's how come they announced the demonstration, the Enough is Enough demonstration, which is expected to happen on Tuesday.
And what's been happening with the PPP?
Unfortunately, the PPP, when they came today, in fact, they were the last group to exit the building. There were about 6. They came led by the leader of the group. His name is Kwesi Asare. So he was leading the group. They came to file their nominations. And that happened when a deputy chair of the commission, and I'm talking about Mr. Samuel Tete, he was announcing that they had closed nominations. Just when he ended, the PPP walked inside the room. And their reason is that they were in the building before the commission closed nominations, but they did not have the time to submit their forms. Now, the commissioner also, deputy commissioner, told them that they cannot complete the form at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. We'll see a video shortly, and that is the video of an independent candidate. His name is Dr. Ni Amudaku, who also faced the same situation as the PPP.
We are not expected to receive nominations after 5. The premises of the EC is not where we complete nomination forms. Candidates are expected to complete their nomination forms and file within the stipulated time. We are not going to accept it. We will receive it, but we are not going to accept the forms. I am acting on behalf of the chairperson, who is the returning officer. So I will submit my report to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, who happens to be the returning officer.
Don't worry. So once you send the report to the returning officer, so a decision will be taken on it. So you submit it officially, so you will receive it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Crosby, for your time.
You.
It's good to have you on News 360.
But now, let me take you through the list of political parties and independent aspirants who have filed to contest for the presidency. We'll bring you that on your screens shortly. Let's take a look at that right now. To begin with, we have Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is representing, as we know, the New Patriotic Party. There's John Dramani Mahama for the NDC, Dr. Hassan Ayariga for the All People's Congress, APC. Those are the first three. And then we have Kofi Akpalu, he is representing the LPG. Christian Kwabena Andrews, he is for the Ghana Union Movement, KUM. And we have Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong, he is for the NDP. We have a few more. There's Sekia Donko this year as well. She's representing the Ghana Freedom Party, the GFP. Nana Akosua Frimpoma Sapon Kumankuma is representing the CPP. There's Bernard Mona for the PNC as well. And then there's Dr. Daniel Augustus Latte for the GCPP. So far, those are the people that have filed for the presidential nomination. Away from the chairperson of the National Commission for Civic Education, Kathleen Addy, is urging Ghanaians to vote against politicians who use intemperate language in the lead-up to the 2024 elections. In a yet-to-be-aired interview on hot issues, the NCCE board stressed that Ghanaians have a role to play in churning out responsible leadership.
It's unfortunate. Again, we've come a long way in this republic. But we must begin to punish wrong behavior through how we reward politicians. You understand? We must begin to punish wrong behavior. Because at the end of the day, politicians are not inherently bad people or some evil people. They're us. They come out of us. No politician came from Mars. They're all like us, right? If you live in a family and there's somebody who continuously behaves in a certain way, if the family does not like that behavior and we find a way to make the person pay for that behavior, most likely they will change, especially for a politician who's a very rational creature, only wants to be in politics. Many want to genuinely serve their communities. But we get to a point where when people are misbehaving, then we are giving them funds, so to speak, right? We are hailing them, we are giving them front row seats, we are repeating their negative energy, we are giving them platforms to do even more. What will be the motivation for them to stop? And we are rewarding them by giving them power. What will be the motivation for them to stop? We have a role to play in this. We have a role to... In an ideal situation, a leader will be such that they themselves will know that this is the wrong thing, I shouldn't do it.
Illegal miners continue to cause havoc to forest reserves across the country, despite sustained public calls for an end to galamsey. The latest forest reserve to be invaded by these illegal miners is the Asinyanyo Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region. In less than a week, more than a hectare of the forest has been destroyed with excavation works. My colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has more in the following report.
Even with renewed calls to place a temporary ban on all forms of small-scale mining activities in the country, new illegal mining sites keep springing up. We are currently at compartment 147 of the Asinyonyo Forest Reserve. 1.63 hectares of the forest reserve is gone in just 5 days. Hundreds of trees have been cut down illegally to pave way for an unlicensed mining activity. This forest reserve, located within the Nkawie Forest District, is being destroyed with impunity, despite the investment made by the Forestry Commission to nurture essential trees in it. Other reserves, such as the Nkwantin section of the Jimira Forest, is now a no-go area for even forestry officials because the miners are armed to the teeth. The unwanted invasion of the reserves, according to the Forestry Commission, is disturbing. Ibrahim Esau is the Nkawie District Forest Manager.
The modus operandi of the perpetrators in recent times is scary. In fact, it's life-threatening. They first come and secure the area at the night, and then they secure with heavily built, armed guards. And so by the time you wake up and you want to enter into the reserve, they have already secured the entrances to the reserve, and so you cannot enter. So that is the level of distraction or impunity which people are now perpetrating the crime. And so it calls for collective effort.
The fight against the illegal miners appear to be beyond the forestry officials in the Nkawie district. The District Security Council is now seeking the assistance of the Regional Security Council to end the menace. But whilst awaiting the intervention of RECSEC, the District Forest Management has reached out to the traditional authorities for help. Some of the traditional leaders who visited the affected part of the forest to assess the level of destruction pledged their unflinching support in bringing an end to the menace. We are the custodians of the land. We will ensure that the caretaker chief of this area will be held liable and face the appropriate punishment for allowing this illegality to go on. We will not allow this distraction to continue. We have directed the forest-fringed communities to be alert and inform us anytime someone enters the forest illegally. The Forestry Commission fears all the gains made in protecting and enriching the country's reserves may be a wasted effort if Galamsey is not stopped once and for all. The destruction of our water bodies and forest reserve continue unabated, and until government takes bold and decisive measures, the talk about Galamsey will not end. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Achumamponia, Ashanti region.
Politicians from both the ruling New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress are involved in Galamsey, and that is why it is difficult to fight the menace head-on. These are the words of Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, who believes until politicians sacrifice and stop, water bodies will continue to be polluted and the environment destroyed. He spoke exclusively to my colleague George Quaining.
Illegal mining, popularly referred to as Galamsey, continues to cause destruction of water bodies, forests and farmlands, threatening the source of livelihood of millions of Ghanaians as well as affecting treatment for water. Labour unions and civil society organizations this week intensified pressure on the government to take drastic measures to curb the menace. The president set up a 5-member ad hoc ministerial committee to engage stakeholders over Galamsey. Information Minister Fatimata Abubakar, in a statement on Friday, September 13, named the National Security Minister Albert Kandapa as the chairman of the committee. Other members of the committee are Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo, Minister for Defense Dominic Nitiwu, Minister for Employment, Labour Relations and Pensions Ignatius Bafuewa, and the Minister for Information Fatimata Abubakar. But the Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, says that is not the solution.
Let me state it categorically. NCCE, MPP, politicians, they are all involved. If they want to solve Galamsey issue, both of them come together, we can solve Galamsey issue. The politicians are involved. I'm bold to tell you because nobody can point finger at me. Nanaku has done a lot to stop this, but I'm afraid both sides, NDC, MPP, from constituency level to the top, they are all doing.
So we can't win the fight?
No, we can't. Unless the politicians themselves sacrifice and stop.
He chastised the activities of foreign nationals engaged in Galamsey and how they are tolerated due to the involvement of politicians.
How much money do you want to make on this earth to see that everybody is going to suffer in the near future? I'm not part of it. That's why I'm going to tell you. You know, it's not right. We are destroying this country. We allow Chinese and foreigners to come here and destroy our water bodies. Can you, a Ghanaian, go to China, India, Lebanon, and do this kind of things? You'll be killed within a second. But here we tolerate them, and they are destroying our water bodies. And because the politicians are involved, they cannot get bold to take actions against them.
The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, revealed this week that the government has directed regional ministers, regional security councils, RECSEC, to intensify enforcement actions to contain illegal small-scale mining.
Well, staying a while longer on this issue, Awula Sewa is the founder and coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens and has joined us via Zoom. Good evening, Madam, and thank you for your time on News 360.
Good evening. Thank you for raising awareness about the canker.
Well, first of all, this 5-member ad hoc ministerial committee that was put together by the president to engage stakeholders on illegal mining, do you believe this is what we need right now?
Of course not. Of course not. What we need is action to be taken. You know, I don't know what planet we are on. We face an existential threat. I've been saying it over and over and over again. This is not the time for conversations. We've had enough dialogue. We've had enough conversations. 2 years ago, I was invited to one of these dialogues. What have we achieved? So many organizations have come together and have told you what to do. They are organizations that cannot be taken for granted. You have the Catholic Bishops' Conference, you have the Christian Council, you have Media Coalition Against Galamsey, you have UTA, you have organized labor, you have the GMA. What are you waiting for to take action? We have told you, declare a state of emergency and remove all illegal miners from our forest reserves and our water bodies. Revoke perverse LI 2462, which allows for mining in forest reserves, including globally significant biodiversity areas, facilitating ecocide. There's ongoing ecocide. Poisoning of water bodies is a war crime, and we are doing it to ourselves. For heaven's sake, the time for talking is over. We have talked and talked and talked since 2017 when the president put his presidency on the line. The situation has gone from bad to worse. What on earth are we waiting for? We can see the situation: kidney disease, rise in maternal death, stillborn babies, deformed babies. What are we waiting for to take action?
But also, legal small-scale miners are concerned about the call to ban small-scale mining in general. They're saying that more of the pressure should go to those that are doing it illegally. Do you share the same view?
What I'm saying is that there's a crisis. It's a matter of life and death. Pause community mining and small-scale mining, whatever. Pause it, and then you get your act together. Those who are doing a good job and they are not polluting the environment, there's no reason why, if they are mining in the right place and doing the right thing, they'll be dealt with. What we are saying is that it's an emergency situation. For now, pause it all. Get everybody away from our forest reserve, because with respect, nobody should be there. Nobody should be in globally significant biodiversity area. Nobody should be in the Draw River Forest Reserve. This should not be happening. Nobody should be in Atiwa Forest Reserve. So get everybody out. But in order to do it effectively, you need to have a state of emergency. And I don't know what we are waiting for. We know that the firefighters are the arsonists. We know that a lot of highly placed persons are involved. But don't you for once care about Ghana? You want to just poison Ghanaians because because you are greedy and you want to be in power forever. You know, there's going to be the day of reckoning. God is not mocked. So listen to the population. We've all come together. We've all come together.
Definitely.
And UTAC organized labor has stated it concisely and very clearly. Revoke LI 2462.
Well, Madam, of course, the fight against illegal mining is an ongoing one, and we want to see change. So definitely, in the future, we are going to come back to you to get more insights on what should be done and the actions that should be taken. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Madam Aulasewa is the founder and coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens.
Right, Ayisha. Now, the paramount chief of the Nandom traditional area, now Professor Edmond Dele Chiri VIII, says he has no faith in the government's 5-member interministerial committee set up to look into the illegal mining. Well, according to the former chairman of the Convention People's Party, the committee is partisan and therefore will not come out with any good recommendations. He's therefore joined the call for a total ban on small-scale mining.
Well, he's the executive president, and everything rests on him. Now, it means if they are even to do that, where are the stakeholders? It shouldn't only be one group of people, which is Uniparty. I would have thought that, knowing that this is now a national program, not NPP or NDC, you should have selected people who have clear minds and who are this one to come, without fear or favor. But you see, if you take your own people to go, no matter what efforts you make, the others will protest. I would have expected that we have a non-partisan group, so that at least and people who know, you see, put them together, and then they can come and say, but once you bring your own group of people, and whatever you bring out, you get opposition.
Technically, you don't have faith in this committee that has just been formed. It was formed today.
Yes, what I'm saying is that I personally don't think they can do, even if they have the best suggestions, but it's also partisan. I wanted a non-partisan committee. For instance, NDC should have had it. There are people there. Get other people so that when we come out with a decision, which is non-partisan, I always believe that when we have trouble, like war, there is no NDC, there is no NPP. It's only Ghana.
And now, staff members of the Volta River Authority VRA and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company NEDCO across Ghana are threatening a nationwide strike in response to claims that the government plans to sell off or merge these key entities. The move comes amid growing concerns over a bill currently under review in Parliament. Joseph Armstrong was at the VRA office and reports.
It was unusual Friday morning as staff of Volta River Authority, VRA, reported to work in red bands. Trees and main building of VRA were also decorated with red bands. The move comes amid growing concerns over a proposed bill currently under review in Parliament. The proposed bill seeks to merge VRA with WIPA Authority, combine the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, with Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, and establish an independent thermal power authority from VRA's thermal plants. This restructuring has sparked significant unrest among employees who fear job losses and lack of transparency from the government. In conversations with employees, many expressed their apprehensions about the future. Employees also accused the government of contributing to VRA's underperformance by failing to provide the necessary logistics and equipment. The VRA staff argued that revenue from the thermal plants was used to augment the VRA's cash flow. Hence, the survival of the VRA was dependent on its thermal businesses.
The staff here fear if that happens, they will lose their jobs. Secondly, they believe they have the efficiencies and the capacity to do the work here if government resources them adequately, just like other agencies have been resourced.
As the situation unfolds, both VRA and NEDCO employees are calling for transparency and engagement from the government to ensure that their jobs and the effectiveness of these critical utilities are safeguarded. Joseph Armstrong, Go Dalibu TV3, Accra.
The Member of Parliament for the Ningo Pram constituency has served notice of fiercely resisting any attempt by the government to sell the Saglemi housing project to any developer. The government has announced that it has shortlisted some private entities who will take over the abandoned housing project and actualize it. Now, speaking to journalists after submitting his forms to contest the Ningo Pram seats, Sam George says he will lead a mass revolt against the government if it goes ahead and sells off the houses.
And Baumia kleptocracy is looking to sell it to their cronies. They're looking to steal those properties. But let me use this to serve notice to anybody who thinks that they are going to buy the Saglemi housing from the thieves in government, led by Akufo-Addo and Baumia and supported by Kojo Nkrumah, the Ministry of Works and Housing. The land was given by the people of Ningo to the government of Ghana for the government to build affordable housing. The government did not tell my chiefs and people in Ningo that they were going to sell it to a private developer. The people of Ningo would have sold that land to a private developer if we wanted to. So this is notice to everybody, from the president, who is the thief in chief, Akufo-Addo, to his mate, who has learned how to steal better than the master, Baumia, and to the Minister of Works and Housing, Kojo Nkrumah. He's not even had the decency. Kojo is my very good friend, but he's not had the decency to even have the courtesy to come and meet with the traditional council, the chiefs of Ningo, who gave that land. And he thinks he's sitting in Accra and will use executive power to hand over our land to their cronies. Well, I'm issuing a warning to whoever thinks they are going to buy. You buy, buyer beware. You buy at your own peril, because you will not be able to take it on. We will not allow you take that land. The people of Ningo will rise up in righteous indignation and say that the way you've stolen lands in Accra, you won't steal Ningo lands.
This is News 360. We have some business news coming up next. Please stay with us.
You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Prophecy time.
Abraham
The business segment is brought to you by MTN
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights.
Hello, good evening. It's time now for some business on News 360 with me, Menu Afol. Now, the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry has opposed a proposal to ban the importation of bitumen into the country. This follows a call by the CEO of GOIL PLC during the commissioning of the $40 million African bitumen terminal and production plant in Tema, which is expected to produce high-quality bitumen locally.
The joint venture between GOIL PLC and Côte d'Ivoire's Société Multinationale de Bitumen SMB has the capacity to produce 7,500 metric tons of premium bitumen. At the plant's launch, GOIL's managing director, Kwame Osei Pempe, urged the government to consider legislation banning bitumen imports to maximize revenue from local production.
We humbly request that a policy that requires road contractors to source their bitumen products locally be put in place and enforced.
Emmanuel Cherry, CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, lauded the coming on stream of the plant, adding that it would improve the bitumen market locally.
With the emergence of oil coming to the market, I believe it's a welcoming news that we must all applaud them for. So we welcome them into the market.
He, however, raised objections to calls for a complete ban on the importation of the product.
You should start production first. Start feeding the industry before you start calling for legislation or regulation. You see, as we speak now, we don't want any artificial shortage or monopoly over the industry.
Michael Obodu, 3 Business, Accra.
In more stories, the Bank of Ghana has pledged continuous prioritization of cybersecurity baseline requirements as part of its strategy to promote the adoption of contactless payments across the country. According to Head of FinTech and Innovation, Kwame Opong, this initiative forms part of the central bank's broader agenda to foster trust and confidence in the cashless economy, ensuring both businesses and consumers can safely leverage contactless payments technologies.
In a bid to enhance the safety and security of digital transactions, the Bank of Ghana aims to implement stringent cybersecurity measures to protect the financial sector from evolving cyber threats. Speaking at the 2024 Visa Ghana Payments Forum organized in Accra, Head of FinTech and Innovation at the Bank of Ghana, Kwame Opong, said this will help drive financial inclusion.
If we have no cybersecurity baseline requirements, right, and somebody somehow loses however much, and you know, we're in Accra, 100 cedis means a lot to people outside Accra, 50 cedis means a lot to people outside Accra. They lose that money, what do you think it means for them? It's probably a week or 2 weeks of pocket money.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive and Country Head of Visa Ghana, Fabrice Conan, is urging greater collaboration among stakeholders to accelerate the adoption of contactless payment systems and enhance financial inclusion.
We have a responsibility as a leading payment provider to really orchestrate the ecosystem, but we need the support of the ecosystem, our partner, Issuer and Acquire, and as well as the regulating authority to ensure that we bring the best innovation that are really seducing the consumer, you know, so that it drives the preference towards that versus cash, right?
The Industry Contactless Payments Workshop focused on navigating opportunities to enhance commerce within the financial market.
And now the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, has joined the crusade against Galamsey's destructive toll on Ghana's sustainability efforts. At a sustainability summit in Accra, CIMG President Dr. Daniel Kaseti delivered a stern warning about the Galamsey menace, underscoring its far-reaching and debilitating consequences on the nation's economy and sustainable future. The summit convened like-minded professionals and businesses to spearhead the advocacy and awareness of sustainability. Marketers were challenged to take the helm in promoting sustainable practices through their work, crafting compelling messages that not only raise awareness but also inspire transformative organizational change.
Galamsey is not only destroying
river bodies or water bodies is affecting Mother Earth and also the forest and all other living things that depend on the environment. That also goes waste. So our water bodies are going, our forest is going, our sunlight is getting wasted and everything. So the awareness creation, the purpose of CIMG getting involved in this is to help in this advocacy to bring attention of every individual in Ghana and businesses.
Chief Executive of the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Robert Jato, called all stakeholders to join forces against illegal mining, a major threat to sustainability.
We know that this galamsey thing must stop, and we know that it's destroying our environment, but also it's destroying the economic side of things because our cocoa production is going down. Our water bodies are being really poisoned, which means that the vegetables you eat or the plantain or the fufu you eat on your table may be poisoned. Our water tables are being poisoned. So very soon we may be importing water. Very soon we may not have an economy at all.
Moving on, the Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association of Ghana is concerned that the European Union may impose another ban on Ghana's produce due to the ongoing galamsey activities. This could lead to a decline in export revenue and potentially harm youth employment and in the sector.
In 2014-2015, the European Union market banned some vegetable from Ghana due to non-compliance with the EU standards on the export of vegetables. President of the Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association, Dr. Felix Kamasa, noted this led to Ghana losing about $30 million in revenue from 2014 to 2017. The association has given government up to September 30, 2024 to come out with a roadmap to eliminate galamsey.
We don't want to have that issue again, because it takes us over 2 years to come out with a ban from European Union. A lot of people lost their money. People borrow money from the bank, they can't even pay. People die out of that. By the close of this month, if you didn't hear any action, we will join the labor union with the demonstration, and we are going to stop all those people who bring vegetable into the country, not to bring it from the Italand.
Managing Director of the association, Daniel Nomanyo, laments members risk losing their business.
Those who are involved in the galamsey, they can identify them. It shouldn't be like the first attempt, which failed.
That's how we end the business segment on News 360. My name is Menu Afo. Stay with us for more news after this break.
Good evening. It's time for sports here on News 360. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. Let's start from the CAF Confederation Cup, and in Swatraman's aim to emulate the amazing run of Dreams FC in the Confederation Cup might have just hit a stumbling block. The FA Cup winners had higher hopes going into the game against CS Constantine of Algeria. However, they were made to pay for their wastefulness as a brace from Bacha Zakaria condemned the Amanaso boys to a 2-0 defeat.
Ball at the expense of Isaka. Bencha goes past Isaka once again. Chance for Constantine. Chance for Constantine. The Accra Sports Stadium. How did the defenders of Swatraman allow him that room to operate in that solo manner? And Medai has got space in front of him. The right back, he goes to the goal scorer who drives one, and it's a brilliant finish. Magnificent goal by Zakaria Bencha. What a finish. Glorious goal for Constantine to double their lead at the Accra Sports Stadium. That is awesome from Bencha. He's double on the day, and 2-4.
It was difficult for us to come back. So that's what went wrong. Yeah, it is a difficult task. A mountain to climb, but it's football. It's football. You know, when you watch the game again or you summarize everything that happened, the chances they had, you can't call them chances. Because the first goal they had, it was just all 50-50. The second one, where he shot from, at any given day, it will not go in. But we created chances. We controlled the game. We created chances, but we just didn't take our chances. That's all.
While staying on the local scene, Accra Hearts of Oak has denied giving coach Abubakar Atare a 5-game ultimatum despite recent poor performance. The club reaffirmed their support for Ouattara and urged the fans to back the team as they aim to improve on last season's 14th place finish in the Ghana Premier League. A statement released via the club's social media page indicated the board and management are fully behind the technical team and players as they go through the season. The board of Accra Hearts of Oak is very much confident that the technical team and the players led by the experienced coach Abubakar Ouattara have all the necessary skills and competencies to bring success to the club. Now to the Ghana Premier League, and there are exciting matches coming up this weekend. Accra Hearts of Oak will be traveling to Pando to play against Heart of Lions, a very crunchy game that will be happening. There is also another big clash between Dreams FC and Bashake Holy Stars, who defeated Accra Hearts of Oak on match day 1. But many are concerned with the low marketing and advertisement as well as the broadcast of the Ghana Premier League matches this season. Well, with the lack of sponsorship for the league, head of public relations and strategy of the GFA, Neil Armstrong Motabi, says the GFA will announce sponsorship in due time.
The functionaries that make our game work, especially match commissioners, referees, administrative staff, have put in the shift that's required for us to start the league. Today we had a conference of match commissioners at the FA. They met the president. He gave them a charge to protect the integrity of the game. Integrity is very high on the agenda of the president going forward when we continue to fix our fundamentals. So all these mini themes feed into winning back the 12th man. And the way you win back the 12th man is by ensuring that the integrity of the game is preserved. And the match commissioners have a major role to play in this. So they were met today by the president and the manager of our elite academy, and also the club licensing manager, all in a bid towards orienting them as to where we want to position our football in this coming season. The window from when we finished this league till now has been quite a short one, full of so many activities, but this administration has done it in the past, raised sponsorship from 2.3 million to 23.1 million. In 4 years, that's 909%. The expertise is there. The appetite may not be there as it used to be, and it's our job as PR, strategy, marketing, business development to ensure that we get the resources required to endow our league in such a way that our talents stay a bit longer, light up our fields, and make the game as enjoyable as we want it to be. So there's a lot of work going on, and I'm sure that in due course.
Well, now let's take a look at the matches that will be coming up this weekend. Heart of Oak make a trip to Pando to play against Heart of Lions. Legon Cities on Saturday will kickstart the weekend against Mediama. Becham United against Adriana. Brekum Chelsea will have Karela visiting them. Holy Stars play against Dreams FC. Young Apostles will welcome Nations Football Club. And Vision FC on Monday will play against Accra Lions. Well, that will be all for sports here on News 360. My name is Kelvin Owusu. Entertainment news comes up next.
Entertainment news segment is powered by 3 Entertainment.
Good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Following their impressive wins against O'Reilly SHS and Mauli Senior High School last week, the Yasantua girls are riding high as they clinch a spot in the next round of the nation's premier cooking competition, Kitchen Wars. This week promises even more excitement as 4 alumni take to the kitchen stage, showcasing their culinary skills in a bid to progress further in the competition.
Tell me what you're cooking. Hey, I'm not some baking.
For weeks, alumni from senior high schools across the nation have been battling it out for bragging rights, cash prizes, and the coveted trophy in what promises to be an exhilarating season 3 of Kitchen Wars.
You have 5 minutes more. Please start cleaning your stations.
Start qualifying to the next stage of the competition. Give it up for Yasantua!
Following their impressive victory over O'Reilly SHS and Mauli School last week, the Yasantua girls are riding high, securing their spots in the next stage of the country's premier cooking competition, Kitchen Wars.
All right. Do it for them, do it for them, do it for them, do it for them. What do you have to say though? Asa. What do you have to say? What do you have to say?
It feels good.
Okay.
To be part of this competition. I think we worked as a team, and then we gave it our very best. Okay.
The culinary journey continues as 4 alumni step up to showcase their skills, each vying to advance further in this thrilling competition.
We are taking this year's trophy straight to the hilltop. No excuses, just results.
So until then, we keep our words to ourselves.
Expect nothing from us but the good skills that we got for you.
You are not joking with this Kitchen Wars season 3.
Yeah, at all.
So
we are here to win.
So please watch out for us.
The schools are buzzing with excitement. Don't miss the action. Tune in at 5 p.m. this Sunday on TV3 for the all-new season of Kitchen Wars.
Tell me what you're cooking. Hey, I'm not some baking.
Now to some more stories. The race to secure the cash, car and crown of the 2024 Ghana's Most Beautiful competition is still on. 8 weeks into the competition, the stakes are higher than ever as contestants gear up to tackle a new challenge, promoting Africa by representing various countries and enlightening the audience about their unique cultures and traditions. This promises to be a captivating, educational and entertaining night as we welcome and experience the diverse talents of the contestants. Their performance in this crucial task is pivotal to their success in the competition. Dial *713*13# to vote for your favorite contestants, or better still, vote on the TV3 reality app. Well, that will be all for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Do have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much, Noella. It's now time for international news.
China will gradually raise its retirement age for the first time since the 1950s as the country confronts an aging population and a dwindling pension budget. The top legislative body on Friday approved proposals to raise the statutory retirement age from 50 to 55 for women in blue-collar jobs and from 55 to 58 for females in white-collar jobs. Men will see an increase from 60 to 63. China's current retirement ages are among the lowest in the world. According to the plan passed on Friday, the change will set in from 1st January 2025. State news agency Xinhua reported that retiring before the statutory age will not be allowed, although people can delay their retirement by no more than 3 years. Starting 2030, employees will also have to make more contributions to their social security system in order to receive pensions. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has tried to head off a major row within his uneasy governing coalition by delaying the implementation of the most controversial part of a new education law. A dispute over language policy had threatened the stability of the 10-party government created after the African National Congress, the ANC, lost its parliamentary majority for the first time in May's election. Speaking before he signed the new measures into law at a public ceremony, Ramaphosa said there would now be a 3-month consultation period. But leader of the coalition's second-largest party, the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen, has since reiterated the plan to challenge the new law in court. Among the reforms, abolition of corporal punishment will be backed by fines and possibly jail times for those who administer it. Experts say that South Africa's education system needs to drastically improve.
Well, that's all for News 360. Thanks very much for staying tuned to us. For more news, you can log on to our website. It's www.3news.com. My name is Paa Kwesi Asare.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu-Halid. Don't forget to join us at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight with Kemini Amano. But up next is Just Us Tonight with Nashoko. Enjoy.